Hey everyone, it's Mike Adams, and in this video, I'm going to be walking you through which credit cards work best for this Plastiq service, because I ran into a couple of bumps as I was testing this thing out. So let me go ahead and log into my account here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here I am on Plastiq. Let me go ahead and get logged in here. And this is my actual account. So you'll see a bunch of things that are blurred out here because I got personal information in here. Because again, guys, you know, if I'm going to talk about a service or a product out here that I don't own and control, I want to make sure to vet this thing out. So I did actually take this thing for a test drive and paid a couple of bills with it to make sure that this thing worked. Okay, so here I am inside of my account here, and again, I got my card loaded up over here. Again, some of this information will be blurred out, of course, for my protection. But as well, you can see in here some of the different recipients that I've loaded up. So we do have a couple of vehicle loans. We do have a home loan as well through Quicken. And so what I wanted to do is last month, I wanted to test this service out, and I have lines of credit that have points programs, and I have all kinds of different ways to justify this 2.5% fee. So no problem paying that just to make sure and vet this service out and make sure it's something that actually works before I endorse it to everyone that watches the videos on this channel. So either way, I want to share with you guys some of the things that I learned about using this service, because not all credit cards work for this service, nor can every single bill be paid with Plastiq. And so let me jump into some of my transactions here. And again, I'll show you guys enough to where you can see. So I want to manage my payments here, because again, I've made some payments here. And I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, okay? And what we see is, especially down here, I'm going to go back to the very beginning. And what we see here is that we have a couple of transactions that were declined, okay? And so right off the bat, I was like, okay, so what is going on with Plastiq? I have no clue why they would decline these transactions. There's plenty of room available on this line of credit. And what I discovered is that when it comes to certain business accounts, okay, and really just some accounts in general, just do not accept payments from Plastiq. They just do not accept payments from services. So one big tip here is that I found out that using this service isn't necessarily for line of credit transfers, right? So if we're talking about from a credit card to another credit card, this isn't necessarily a good service for this. This service is primarily designed for making payments to different contractors and different businesses, etc., and also to your loans, okay, like your mortgage, your student loans, your car loans. So this is a service primarily for paying loans or paying vendors and having that transaction go onto your credit card. It's not really a good service for different credit cards onto another credit card. And that's why I saw this decline here, is that this is one of our commercial lines of credit that I was looking to move on to a different line of credit. So that one came back declined, okay? This one here was for one of our business loans. And this one came back declined, and I was stunned by that. I was like, I don't understand why that one came back declined. And I went ahead and tried the same vendor again. And you can scroll up, I tried it a couple days later. You can see the amount is the same here, okay? But it came back declined again, okay? And what I learned about that was that American Express, okay, for whatever reason, American Express has issues with this particular service. And I think what it is that they want to run the transactions like a cash advance. But for whatever reason, number one, you're not able to really use your American Express cards for this service. So if you had an Amex, you're like, I can't wait, I'm going to jump on Plastiq and use this Amex finally for balance transfers. It's probably not going to work. American Express seems to not really like this service that much. And as well, on the loan side of it, they're not willing to accept payments from Plastiq. Okay, so that could be a business thing, that could be an American Express thing. But from what I'm seeing as how we attempted to use an American Express line and it did not work. And as well, they're not accepting payments. I'm starting to think that it might be an American Express thing. So be forewarned, if you're looking to use American Express or pay American Express with Plastiq, it may not work with Amex, okay? So, but moving forward, okay, we were able to complete multiple transactions. So we were able to go ahead and tackle, this is a mortgage payment using a Discover card. And so what we already know, and what I talked about Discover in one of my other videos on the channel, but Discover is a fantastic and flexible line of credit. Absolutely no issues whatsoever using really either Mastercard or Discover cards here on Plastiq. The types of credit cards that I have had issues using is number one, the American Express, and then number two with Visa. Okay, and Visa may be leaving this network altogether, and that's where I saw a warning. We tried to put a Visa on here and use one, and there was a warning that Visa may try to, again, charge the card as a cash advance versus as a normal transaction. So again, we're not looking to do cash advances here and pay those higher fees or higher interest rates. So Visa, for now, in my opinion, is out of the case here. So Amex and Visa out. If you're looking to use this service, Mastercard and Discover are going to be your best two options. I've had no issues whatsoever using Mastercards and Discover, okay? And so we've had multiple transactions go through just fine. Again, using Discover and using Mastercard, and again, using this service. Everything has been very, very smooth with this. The fees have been directly as stated. And every bill paid on time. So again, when you set up your payment, you're going to pick a date on which you want that payment to be received. And so every single payment that I've sent out so far using this service has been received on time. So again, that's just a couple of tips and tricks about this Plastiq service. Again, certainly use it, but bear in mind, some lines of credit you're not going to be able to use for this service. And I've seen that so far with Amex, and it looks like it's going to be the same case with Visa cards. Okay, you're good to go. If you're going to use Discover and you're going to use Mastercard, you're good to go. Also, keep in mind that not all loan companies are going to accept payments from this service. Again, what I've seen so far is with American Express, they're not even going to receive payments from this particular service. And again, some vendors just may not accept payments in this particular fashion due to their own policies. So again, bear that in mind. But again, guys, if your loans are being serviced by the typical big banks or the large credit unions in your city or in your town, and your vehicles are being financed through the typical big bank companies, chances are it's going to work just fine. And as long as you're using a Discover or a Mastercard, again, those two networks seem to have no problem using this Plastiq service and running everything through as a straight up transaction. So Discover and Mastercard are going to be your best bets for utilizing this particular service. So hopefully you guys found value in this training all about using Plastiq. Again, if you want to get started and start using the service, there is a link in the description below. I will see you guys in the next video.